Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. Om. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Children, we all know we are in the 11th chapter, and Arjuna is seeing the Vishwarupam, the amazing wonder is seen in front of his own eyes. And one such example I would like to tell you is whenever an astronaut who goes in the search of the universe, he would also see the same kind of wonderment when he goes up and sees the earth, and it becomes like a small colorful ball, and there are many more such planets and so much of cosmos to see. That is nothing but he sees the nothing but the universal form of God. So whoever aspires to become an astronaut, one day you will, when you go up in the space, you will see nothing but the Vishwarupam only. Or those who are aspiring to become a deep sea diver, search what is there inside the ocean, because space, as huge it is in the universe, it is same huge space which we can't fathom inside the sea or the big ocean. There also he will see different creatures created by none other than God. And this is again an universal form which a deep sea diver will see. Now, this is something which is seen through our eyes outside. Now, have you ever gone on a roller coaster ride? Any one of you? What?
Sir, I've only got once.
Yes, sir, I have.
Sir, I went like 3 times, and I went to Ferrari World, the world's fastest roller coaster.
Yes. So
I also got, sir.
everyone, each one of maybe faster, world's best, but everyone has gone to this. Now, what happens inside you? What is the changes happens when you go slowly up, and then suddenly down? Both things
Fear
happen,
and
just
joy.
like
Fear
this
and
child. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So wonderment, and as another child, same time, is getting so annoyed, so fearful. Now, this is what happens with Arjuna when he's seeing Lord's creation. First is wonderment, but today's verses we will see that he is fearful. We have seen how wonderful thousand sunlights, then so many hands, beautiful colors, everything he has seen the wonderment. Now the roller coaster ride is going down, and then he is also feeling that lightness and scary things. Feeling something happens in your stomach. That feeling is coming to Arjuna. Anvit, please mute whenever you are not speaking. Okay. Anvit, you have a story today of Mohini. Let us know one of the avatara of Lord Vishnu. You unmute yourself and then start.
Hari Om, everyone. I'm going to say the story of Mohini.
Anvit, one request, do not read. You are good without reading. You can just tell what you know. Okay, when you read, then it is not that flow. Try to just say. Just say what Mohini. Don't read from anywhere. Whatever
sir.
story you know, you say. Let me check. Don't open one more window somewhere.
One day, Bhasmasura was praying to Lord. He was praying for Lord for hours. Then Lord Shiva got pleased and said, "Okay, now say whichever boon you want." Bhasmasura
Okay.
said, I want a boon which will never kill me, and I will never die." And Shiva said, "No, you should die. No one will get that boon." Then he said, "Okay," and said, if he keeps his hand on anyone's head, they will become into ashes." And Shiva agreed. And then Bhasmasura kept on keeping his hands on everyone, Then one day he wanted to try it on Shiva. So he ran behind him and Shiva was running. Suddenly Shiva met Lord Vishnu and said, what happened? Then Lord Vishnu came in, disguised himself into Mohini, and then he was dancing. Then Bhasmasura was like, wow, so beautiful girl. Dance with her. And then she told, Bhasmasura told, I want to marry you. And Mohini said, okay, but you should first listen. You should dance whichever step I do. Then I'll marry you. Then Mohini started dancing. After a half an hour, Bhasmasura Mohini kept her hand on her head like this. Bhasmasura forgot about the boon, and then he also kept the hand on his head. He became into ashes.
Anvit, finished?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. So that's just a story about Vishnu, and we go to the next verse by Yakshita.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Verse 11.25. दृष्टा करालानि च ते मुखानि
दंष्ट्राकराळानि च
ते मुखानि ते मुखानि
द्वेष्टुकालानि सलानि भानि
दृष्ट्वैव कलानलसन्निभानि
सन्निभानि दिशो न जाने न लभे च शरणं
दिशो न जाने न लभे च शर्मा
प्रसिद्ध देवेश जगन्निवास
देवेश
Next slide, sir. Translation of the verse is Danshra, teeth, Karatam, terrible, Cha and Te, your, Mukhani, mouths, Drishtva, having seen, Eva, indeed, Kala Anala, the fire of annihilation, Sanibhani, resembling, Disha, the direction, Na, not, Jane, no, Na, not, Labhe, I obtain, Cha, and Sharma, peace, Prasiddha, have mercy, Devasha, the Lord of Lords of the universe, Jagat Nivasa, the shelter. So the translation is, having seen your many mouths, bearing your terrible teeth, resembling the raging fire at the time of annihilation, I forgot where I am and do not know where to go. O Lords of Lords, you are the shelter of the universe. Please have mercy on me. Hari Om, sir.
We try to understand that Lord is not having so many arms and teeth and all that. It is just that He is present in all of us, in every form. Every human being, every being on the earth is nothing but Lord's form. And that's what is making Arjuna terrified, that he's only seeing the kalatatva, the mouth part, where he's seeing the angry face and gulping down the different things in the universe. And that's why he's fearful. Let us go to the next verse by Shara.
Hari Om everyone. Today I'll be saying the verse 11.26. Ami chatvam drishti दृष्टिराष्ट्रस्य
अमी च त्वां धृतराष्ट्रस्य
पुत्रः सर्वसहैवावनि
पुत्र सर्वे सहैव
बालसं okay, that's भीष्मो द्रोणसुतपुत्रस्त
Bhishma-Drona-Sutaputrastatasau. That's where you have to stop.
full okay. Yeah. 1 second. That 1 second, sir. My throat is a little.
No problem.
Thasau sahasmadiyayrapi yodhamukhyaih. Sorry.
ततासौ सहस्मदीयैरपि योधमुख्यैः.
Yeah, it is little difficult because here
The
the meter is different.
Meter is different.
meter is
No
different,
problem.
sir.
No problem. No problem. Let us continue.
I see the meaning of this verse is I see all the sons of Dhritarashtra along with their allied kings, including Bhishma, Dronacharya, and Karn, also the generals from our side. So next slide. So yeah, in this verse, these two verses, 11.26 and 27, are connected. The first half, Arjuna is saying that he's seeing the people who are all of the people who are present in the war, the generals on the evil side and the good side, the Pandavas, the Kauravas, the simple warriors, all of them is there. He's seeing them in that form. But where they are there and why they are there will be explained in the next weeks. Thank you.
So we'll see in the next verse what happens to this Pandavas and Kauravas. The idea here is he's frightened, not just seeing the enemies going into the mouth of Krishna, but he's also seeing his own people also going into the mouth of Krishna. So let us see the next verse. What happens? Swastik.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Very much audible.
Yes, sir. Okay, first I will go ahead with the verse. The next slide. Yeah. वक्त्राणि त्वरमाण विशन्ति
वक्त्राणि ते त्वरमाणा विशन्ति
दंष्ट्राकराणानि भव्यनकानि
दंष्ट्राकरालानि भयानि
केचिद्विलग्ना दशमन्तरेषु
केचित्
Lagna-dashanaantareshu.
सन्दृश्यन्ते चूर्णितैरुत्तमाङ्गैः
Sandrishyantairuttamangai.
So the translation for this verse after Shara's part is, I see them rush headlong into your fearsome mouths. I see some with their heads smashed between your terrible teeth. The next slide. Now, what is meant by the mouth of Krishna? Now, it is simply a metaphor for the entrance to death, because it is said by chance, but the mouth of God can also be considered as the ending of people's lives. It is worthy of pointing out that the generals rush headlong into the mouth of the Lord. I see some heads already smashed between your jaws, means to tell us that those who will fight for the Raj Dharma are taking the consequence of death into their hands. This is why it is stated that after Bhishma was laid down on his deathbed of arrows, he chose to meditate upon Sri Krishna, or chose to meditate, since he knew that it was his turn to take his consequence upon himself. Thank you, sir, for giving me this verse.
Thank you very much, Swastik. We will now move to Moksha, 11.28 verse. Moksha. अनम्यूट करके आप करो, चैंट करो, अनम्यूट करो.
यथा नदीनां बहवोऽम्बुवेगाः
समुद्रमेवाभिमुखा
समुद्रमेवाभिमुख द्रवन्ति
द्रवन्ति
तथा त्वामी नरलोक
तथा तवामि
तथा तवामि
नरलोकवीरा
विशन्ति वक्त्राणभिविज्वलन्ति
विशन्ति
वक्त्राणभिज्वलन्ति
वक्त्राणभिविज्वलन्ति.
Hari Om all. In this Hari Om sir, in this verse, Arjuna's described Vishwarupa, that all the warriors of both sides are entering in your mouth. Arjuna showed that Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and all sons of Dhritarashtra were entering in mouth of Vishwarupa. Arjuna gave an example of rivers. Water of all rivers flow towards ocean. Their origin can be different places, but they run towards ocean. Similarly, all the souls have cycles. After taking birth, they go towards God. Sir, I also observe one thing, that all human beings are for a purpose here. Also, I see same thing in our daily life. Every day, my father goes to his duty, my sister goes for studies, and I also go for studies. After doing our duty, we come back to our house. Similarly, all human beings come for special purpose. After doing their duty, they get death, which is going toward Parampita Paramatma. Dhanyavadam. Hari Om sir.
एक्सीलेंट मोक्ष, एक्सीलेंट. बहुत अच्छा किया आपने. आप
Thank you.
फिजूल में डर रहे थे, आपको इंग्लिश नहीं आता. इंग्लिश बहुत अच्छा आता आपको. वेरी गुड चैंटिंग ऑल्सो. वेरी नाइस, बोथ ऑफ यू.
Thank you.
So this is telling about a cycle of life, this verse especially, and all of you know this, how the water evaporates from the ocean, then precipitates on the mountain peak,
Yes.
and then the water comes down as a river and again gets into the ocean. Also, while doing this, it will make the table of the earth full of water. So you will get water in your canals, in your bore wells, all will be having water. And water is a source of life, we all know. Similarly, children, if you extend this example, that anything to precipitate, anything to which forms the vapors, it requires like an efforts. Sun will shine and then water will evaporate. Some activity is happening, karma yoga. Then this condensation of the water droplets into forming the clouds and condensation, which will then give rains, is nothing but upasana yoga. We have seen this, what is upasana yoga, karma yoga. And finally, that all water coming from the mountains into the form of river is like Jnana Yoga, because it gives only goodness all around. And if you extrapolate this, then entire thing will form Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam. So this is the whole goal of our life. From life to death, as Moksha already explained, everyone has special duties which we have to fulfill. After fulfilling, finally, the river which fulfills all the duties will go to the ocean. Similarly, we all human births are for Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam. That symbolizes in this verse. We'll go to Aditi, the next verse.
हरि ओम ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः यथा प्रदीप्तं ज्वलनं पतंगा
यथा प्रदीप्तं ज्वलनं पतंगा
विनाशाय समृद्धिवेगाः
विशन्ति नाशाय समृद्धवेगाः
तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकास्
तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकाः
तवापि वक्राणि समृद्धवेगाः
तवापि वक्राणि समृद्धवेगाः.
Again, people enter your mouths with great speed for their own destruction, just as moths enter the blazing fire with great speed for their own destruction. So, in this verse, Arjuna is comparing people entering the god's abode to moths flying into the fire in great speed. As explained in the previous verse, rivers flowing into oceans and dissolving into its initial point to the source, which is Ishvara. So in this verse, moths are marching into the fire and are eventually destroyed. Krishna wants Arjuna to get over his fear of death. In this stage of the chapter, Krishna is explaining why destruction is also a required part in life. Now, you might say death is so mean and cruel and disturbing. Yes, but for a particular stage. But if you're a student of Bhagavad Gita, we will all understand that death is just a new start. We can take examples of startup companies, businesses, or even your favorite ice cream store. Sometimes it might face, like failures and get closed. So and then a new store opens and replaces it. That's how the end of a person's life is too. This is all a part of Brahman, birth, death, creation, etc. Our journey is a cycle which starts from the source, Ishvara, and back to Ishvara. When we realize that death is nothing but a return of our identities into that of Ishvara's, our fear will go away. When we surrender to God, death will actually not be so unpleasant. We will start leading a life of courage and fearlessness because now we know how it ends. Thank you and Hari Om.
Excellent, Aditi. As always, very good explanation. For children who are very small, like Ananya, or anyone like Anvit, see, don't consider so early or anything about death. Just consider failures. We are all student, right? And we might score very good marks sometimes. We might score very less marks. We might fail also in some things. So that time we should remember this verse that all the things are creation of Lord. Everything is for some purpose. So God is there in the good as well as not so good, in the success as well as a failure. So once we realize this fact, then you will take everything as it comes. You will not be worried. You will not get annoyed. And that will keep you on track. You will never get depressed. You'll always be in the performance without pressure. This is what the verse actually should be taken for you children. Okay, obviously death and life we all know, but for such a small young child, we will consider this as failure and success. Okay, so hence on, because you are students of Vedanta, students of Bhagavad Gita, always remember if there is some way you are not successful so as your other people, don't worry. That is not the end of life. You always have to just march ahead and you will see the success in future. Let us go to the 30th verse. Utsav.
Good evening, everyone. Your program number 10. Verse number 11. So it is 11.30.
Correct.
ले लिया से ग्रसमनः संयनतत्
लेलिहसे ग्रसमान समन्ताः
लोकं समग्रं वदन निज बलादभिः
लोकान्
लोकान् समग्रान्
समग्रान्
वदनेर्ज्वलादभिः
तेजो बृहरपुर्य जगत् समग्रम्
तेजोभिरापूर्य जगत्समग्रः
जगत्समग्रम्
वस्तुग्रह प्रतपन्ति विष्णु
भासस्तपन्ति विष्णु
We can't hear. I can't hear you. Children. Sorry, internet has gone back. Is it over? The verse? Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. He
And,
had chanted the verse and then we lost him.
Okay. Is it still there? I think his internet is
Can't hear
weak.
him also.
Okay. Vishnu, can you read this, please, for us?
Okay, sir. Grasa Manaha, swallowing. Samagran Lokan, all the people. Samantat, from all directions. Jwala Bhi Vadanai, with blazing mouths. Leli Shaisa, you repeatedly lick with relish. Apurya, filling. Samagram Jagat, the entire universe. Tejobhi, with radiance. Tava Ugra Bhasa, your fierce rays. The meaning of the verse is swallowing all the worlds on every side with thy flaming mouths, thou art licking thy lips. The fierce rays filling the whole world with radiance are burning. O Vishnu.
Very good. So this verse, he did very good chanting, but he could not explain the verse, and Vishnu did it. The idea of this verse is now he is getting that fear. So much so that he is seeing Lord Vishnu, not just the people entering in his mouth, but he is seeing that Vishnu is relishing his tasting the food, like, we taste any good dish. That's how he's seeing Lord, and he's getting so much fearful. He's saying lehi ase, means repeatedly smacking his lip. When you like some ice cream, you'll smack the lip, right? While tasting the ice cream or chocolate, which is very, very tasty. So he's seeing Vishnu in the form of a demon now, not just a god. Now he's seeing Asura form, large teeth hanging outside the mouth, cutting and opening the flesh, and the tongue which is coming big out and trying to lick the blood. So this is a fearful situation for Lord, and Arjuna wants to just come out of this. First, it was wonderment, as the the joyride was slow and very good. But when it became fast and it was going very steep down, that is what is happening now. It has become fearful for Arjuna. And now these are the two ways Arjuna has seen Vishwarupam. And slowly he will ask that please take out the Divya Chakshu, the 3D goggles, when we take 3D goggles and there is some dirty, bad scene of fighting and something is coming on your face, you would like to take out the 3D goggles. Similarly, this is the verse in which slowly he will ask in 31, 32, and then God will tell why he has taken this route. In the next class, we will do. Before that, we will see 12 avatars of Devi Adishakti by Nayana. Nayana, we have 5 minutes, not more, okay? So you do it.
Namaste everyone. Today I'll be telling a story which I had already told before also, but I wanted to tell it again because we are doing the Vishwarupa Darshana and there are so many forms explained in the previous chapter this time that I felt like this of Devi should also be said. So I thought this was a good idea. Um, so, what are the avatars of Jagat Janani? We don't. So there are like a millions of avatars. But I took 12 major avatars and I'm going to explain them briefly today. The next slide, please. So the first avatar was Adi Shakti. So Ama Adi Shakti is known to have started the whole universe and created the Trimurti, which is Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Second avatar is known as Mahakali. Adi Shakti had to take the form of Mahakali to kill three Asuras in vain. One was Raktabija, whose blood, if fell down on the, if touched ground, would create another Raktabija. And the other two were Chanda and Munda. Those two were two asuras who used to really torture the whole world until Ma took this avatar. She is also called as Chandika because of this. The next slide, please. Durga is the avatar which was took to slay Mahishasura, who had the boon that he couldn't be slain by any male of any type of creature. So he thought female was weak, and uh, because of that, he thought that no female could defeat him, and he thought that he was invincible. But Ma Adishakti took this avatar of Durga and slay him. And she's also known as Mahishasura Mardini. Parvati is the avatar where she nurtures the whole universe like a mother nurtures her baby. So next slide, please. The Adishakti took the form of Lakshmi Devi to fulfill the prosperity, providing the prosperity for the whole universe. Like prosperity doesn't only mean in money, but also in food, health, and studies as well. Ma Saraswati is the goddess of Vidya or studies and Buddhi, which is your mind. So she is usually worshipped to get knowledge or, yeah, basically get knowledge. So next slide, please. Kaishiki is the Yogamaya, which was the main part of one of the main part of the Bhagavad, which is the story of Krishna Avatar. And if Yogamaya, who was Ma Kaushiki, didn't take this, we would not be learning the Bhagavad Gita today. So Kaishiki took this avatar to save Krishna, and so that Kansa could think that she is Krishna and would free her from that child form, so that she could go to the Vindhyachal Parvat and slay the Asura Shumb and Nishum, who were creating chaos for the whole universe. Ma Bhairavi is the creator of Yamlok. She's also, which is also known as Mrityulok. And Shudra Puja is where when someone wants someone else to have something bad. Let's say someone wants you to trip, they would have a very bad day. So they would do Shudra Puja, which is offered to Ma Bhairavi, and they would pray to her saying that I wish so person would have a very bad day today. And since Shudra Puja is only done to her, she will definitely grant it. So next slide, please. Ma Shodashi is also known as Bala Tripura Sundari. The Lalita Sahasranama, which is popularly used, is on her name. She is the most beautiful incarnation of Parvati. Ma Bhuvaneshwari is the creator of the 14 Bhuvanas or the Lokas, 14 Lokas, like the 7 above and 6 above and 7 below. So she is the creator of all the lokas. So next slide, please. Ma Shakambari is the uh, uh, mother who has a lot of sympathy towards the creation. So it's said that a few hundred years ago there was a full century of drought, so no one would have food. And then everyone, all the devas and all prayed to Ma Kaushiki, and then Ma Adeshakti. She came in a blue, so she came in a blue skin look with fruits and vegetables in her hand, and suddenly many eyes appeared on her body, and then she started crying from all those eyes. In turn her tears became raindrops and started coming down, and this is how the 100 years of drought went off, like was fulfilled with a lot of water. Ma Rajeshwari is the uh, Deva, who is the Devi, which is worshipped all over the universe, because Adi Shakti could not stay in her own form because she couldn't take one form. So when everyone asked her which form will she be as the person who everyone worshipped, she said that I will take Rajarajeshwari avatar, and then she did. So she is seated on Shiva's lap, and the Adhisthana, she is the leader or the Adhisthana Devata of the Sri Chakra, which is located on the top of our head and which is the most important chakra of all the 14 chakras we have in our body. Hari Om, Dhanyavadam, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, children. And we come to the end. And after that, you please raise your hands who wants to take the class, next class, some verses. I'll chant the mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Children, please raise your hands so whoever wants to take the verses next class, so I can allot it. It's voluntary, no compulsion. And if we have 5 to 6